Good morning and welcome to Try Bonsai. It's your boy Banner, and I might be sounding as though I'm out of breath because I am out of breath. I have thus far walked and ran 3+ miles. I wouldn't say 4. Anyways, what I'm showing you guys here is a Ficus benjamina. But what is more interesting about the Ficus benjamina as I draw in closer to the trunk line, look at the multiple trunks coming up from this beauty. And what is even more interesting is its root base. As you can see, it is on top of a hill, and the root base comes all the way down. Let me see if I could get some light. Look at that root spread. It spreads out really very nicely, gripping this in, ensuring that it does not falter in any form or fashion. Beautiful, beautiful specimen. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. It's your boy Banner, and before I begin anything, I'd just like to take the opportunity to tell everyone a very happy, blessed and holy New Year. It's 2025, my friends, and the thing with a New Year is that by God's grace, what you could not accomplish in 2024, you're around now to try to change that. So, to everyone watching who has supported throughout the entirety of 2024 and continue to support, thank you so very, very much. And I wish everyone all the very, very best for 2025. Yeah? Let's try to make some changes to the negatives and create more positives in the environment for ourselves and for the people around us, our loved ones, even the people who you don't think you're affecting. So anyways, my friends, so what am I going to do today? I don't know why I'm asking all of that question, because all let's see in the composition in front of your face. What I have here is a variegated sea hibiscus forest that I would have created last year. I'll have to check back in the records to see when I created it. And what we're going to do today is do a little clipping back to some of the trees to try to streamline the growth as we want it to go. Because there are some things that have taken off quite a lot and others that have not taken off. And we have a dead one, or not so much a dead one, but someone that has died at the top. However, there is growth to the bottom. So let's take an opportunity to look at this forest, and then let me get to some clipping. Start 2025 on a lightish note, but all you know, we just get heavy as things going along. Yeah, so let me just go. So as I mentioned, my friends, this is a look at the forest in its entirety, and as you can see, there's a lot of growth on these set of trees, and that may have been because these are the ones that are getting most of the sun and are facing the sun, and as such, these have been shaded out. So what we're going to do is try to reduce the vigor in some of those, and look at, because we have a couple guys here at the back Now you're seeing new growth coming up from here, but I want to believe that this top is quite expired. Hold on, and I'm trying to detangle it. Yeah. So this top has expired, and I'm going to prune it back and allow for this new growth here to take off. And then we have this guy that's not doing so well, so well. Now there is growth here, which is a good sign, and some dying growth here. But what is happening, what I believe is happening, is that they are starving for sunlight. So let's see what we can do to correct that. Apart from that, pruning back this forest into some kind of shape, because I don't want the forest this tall. It is very, very tall. The tallest tree estimated is probably about 2.25 feet or so. Yeah, I could be wrong, I could be right, I could be slightly off. But it's kind of too low. I would like to bring the forest down to about yay high, right? And develop it around there. And eventually, what is going to happen is that we're going to get a pot, either make one or get one for this, because it's in a temporary pot. Well, it was made into a pot, but this was a baby bottle warmer that is serving a very, very good purpose, right? So let's get to pruning. I'm going to deal with well, I didn't show you one, but we definitely have one dead one here. Let me turn it so you can see. We have one very dead one right here. So I'm going to take him out because he's not really serving a purpose. So I'm going to cut that. And I believe we're at the stage where I can move these rocks that I would have put to stabilize and to help strengthen these trees as they grew their roots to stabilize themselves. Obviously, I'll have to keep one or two of these rocks, because for the ones that are in the back here, they are a bit weak. So let's move on with the pruning. What I'm going to do, my friends, is firstly remove the additional height that we don't necessarily want from the taller pieces of material that is shading out the shorter pieces of material. So looking at this trunk line here, he comes up and he veers off strongly to the side here, and comes up and veers off a bit here, and is developing something of a new trunk line on top here. So I'm going to take this back, because there are a couple of buds developing on this branch that we could kind of develop. What do I want as the new trunk line? I don't want this not veering off here, and this is a bit too tall, so I'm going to take this back here. This is veering off to the side. Do I want to continue this as the trunk line, or do I want it going up straight? The thing is, if I continue this, I mean, when you repot it, you can always turn it to suit. But as it stands right now, this is shading off this tree. So I'm going to take the chance here and take this off, opening up here for some sunlight to get in. And as I do that, so going back down on this tree, clear up a little dead bit here, And I think I don't want this because this is very strong. So I'm going to cut this back, quite back here. Right, for this to develop, and there's a shoot to the back here that could be developed. Now, coming further down is seeing these bits of growth here. I'm going to take those off because those are way too low. And then, now my friends, we're going to move on to the tree right next to it. Right, and what we have happening here to the top here is this lead coming out, looking, chasing sun. So I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave this for now. What I will do is this branch that is going over to this side, I'm going to take this off. Right, now there is something down here that I could develop, but I'm going to leave it. I am going to leave it and see what develops from it. I could cut back instead of allowing this to come quite out here. I could cut back to this point here. Right, there's a shoot here. I could cut back to and allow for this to be the new lead, going a bit more upright rather than out. But it adds a little bit of character right now, and I'm going to leave it for now. Never to know, we could change this before this video is over, or I could change it at a later date. So moving swiftly along to the tree right next to it, and what we have happening is a lot of things that are shading a lot of branches from varying trees, and this is one of the things with forest. As I'm learning, you need to make sure that each tree, even though it's a forest you're creating, each tree is getting some kind of light. So you want to move away the items that shading out the other bits or the other trees that will diminish the health of the other trees. So I just removed a branch from a tree inside to see about this one that is outside. And what is happening here is that same thing like this, right? This one, just like this one, how it's shaped, it veered, it was going inside and it came out to get some sunlight. So this is a dead bit on top here. I'm going to take this off, and this wood as it stands right now is soft, so it's cutting very easily. Now I have a little shoot here, a very, very small shoot right here. And let me bring you all in so that you all could see what I'm doing. So I'm dealing with this particular tree right now, and we have this branch coming off on the side here that growing kind of nice, a little bit long, and it comes up. So let me just clean up this. It comes up, and this branch went inside and is coming back out where the sun is. And there's a decision to be made. Now, I could and I will take this back to this point here, opting for this little shoot to develop further and better. And I'm going to leave this top piece because there's a shoot here that is not as strong and is up for development, as well as one here. When these develop, I could remove the top and start over a new lead. So that is what I will do with this particular tree. Now, where this one is concerned, and I have to turn it a little bit to the side because what is happening is that this is leaning far out. which is not too bad. It's looking for sun. So this shoot to the bottom here, we don't want, well, I don't want it. I have a couple things developing here, and there is some development here. Right, let me adjust the camera a little bit more. Good. So we're up here, and there's some development here that I want to encourage, because ideally I would like for the tree to grow a little straighter and not so much outside. Now there's a bud here that is giving me some growth, but I don't want to cut back to this as yet because it's not as strong. So I will take the top off completely, exposing these little shoots for further development. So I have this guy here now, right next to this, and he is a bit on the weak side, as I would have mentioned. So this is not so strong. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take off this tip here. Take off this. This is a shoot. This is a shoot here that's not doing so well. There is new growth to the top, so I'm going to leave it alone. And here's a shoot on the side to the back here. Now there's something growing out on the side here. So the thing is, I want to baby this fella a bit because I want for him to get stronger. And once he is stronger, then I'll have options in terms of where I want to cut him back and what I want developing from him. So we're going around, and we have the guy right next to him whose entire top has died off. And there's a shoot coming up from the side here. See that? This little fella here. This nice strong little fella here. And this entire top has died. So I'm going to cut this back to about here. And what I will do, I will place some rocks around him because it's a little wobbly in that in this planting. And I'll make sure that when I put this planting back, that these fellas, especially in the back here, get more sunlight. So we're going around. Well, not around. Let's go down, let's go into the center for this guy in the center here. Now, as I mentioned, we have this fellow here that are leaving for the hour. This guy has some nice shoots coming off of him all the way up to the top. And there is an option to create an even shorter forest, bringing it back down even shorter. But what I have to do is to allow them to grow, to gain vigor and girth, and then cut them back and start the development. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to just let them just grow all wild and crazy. You can do some development as they are coming up and remove some things that don't necessarily make sense in favor of things that make sense to you. So what we have happening here, you see this coming from this big tree that I'm going to remove. And that clears up a bit of space in the center here. As I said, this center guy has a lot happening. And what I could do, I could cut back here, opting for these guys to develop. So there's a trend that is happening. And we're starting to really work with the height that we want, although, as I just said, to gain the thickness and size, You know, you allow your things to grow, 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 and then you cut them back, you prune them back, prune them back, prune them back, and start developing. But I would like to do a little bit more streamlining in terms of how they grow. Because this is my first time working, when I say, I haven't had this species for quite a long time. So this is a learning experience for me as well. Now, as I go around and I come back to this guy in front here that we did. So we have this fellow here, we pruned back this very strong bit of growth. And we have this branch coming here, this branch coming here. And we have something on top here that you can't see because it's still a little too high. So we have something a little bit of something on top here that could be developed. Yeah. Next to him, we have a very big guy, a stalwart man of the hour, who comes up quite high and has a lot of growth happening because it's very vigorous. I'm taking off some things that are growing down to the bottom that are too low. We're going to leave this for now, but let's work on, I'll leave it for now, sorry. And let's look at the height of it and see what we want to remove. So it comes up here and we have a couple branches off here. And I could use this as the new lead, reducing this thick set of growth on top here. And I think I'm going to do that because this is gaining quite a lot up here. And I don't want that for the top of the tree. So I took that entire top off. And as I take that entire top off, I'm going to take this off, opting to develop up here. And I have something coming straight out at me that I'm going to take off. This guy who is coming very strongly up here, as though he wants to become the new lead. I'm going to take him back, and we have something developing inside here. But we also have this. I'm going to take this off in the center here because I like this as the lead up here. And what I will do, as I made this cut, I'll clean it up just a bit. Yeah, so I cleaned that up. And this is looking very, very sickly. I don't like this, you know. So I'm going to cut back here and see if something develops from here, restarting that top. Let's see if we missed anything that we could move. This branch that's growing up to the back here, I'm going to take this off. So these weaker trunks here are going to mount the dirt, some dirt up around that, kind of helping to stabilize that a bit. So my friends, I am finished with the pruning of my sea hibiscus, my variegated sea hibiscus forest. And it's looking decent, you know. It's looking decent. There's a lot of development to happen to really and truly get to where I want it to be. And God willing, we're going to be around to do that. So, sorry about that. We're going to continue developing this forest over time. And yeah, we're going to create something really, really very nice from it. So this is the 360 view. Now, ideally, front and back would have been identified. And ideally this would be the front of it here. This looks like a pretty decent front to me, but that is subject to change, when we eventually do the repot, putting it into its home, its permanent home, or permanent-ish home, because nothing in bonsai stays the same. Things grow, things change over time. Anyways, so that's it for this. Thank you so very, very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share. If you know somebody would benefit from what I'm doing, please share it with them. And of course, I like to read the comments and I like to answer the comments. So comment away. And yeah, thank you so very, very much. I'm going to leave you with some footage, a little bit of footage that I took when I went for my little exercise in the morning, and enjoy it. And as per usual, be good to yourself, be good to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. And always remember that our climate is our responsibility. We have an opportunity to change it. If not for ourselves in our lifetime, we can change it, make the changes so that it will benefit the future generations, our children's children, and all the generations to come. Yeah? So, enjoy the footage, my friends. I'll go see you all again soon. So guys, still on the road, still running, and I thought I'd just take the opportunity to show you a couple things on the Queens Park Savannah. Not the best things, but they're pretty impressive. This is a flamboyant, my friends. And I ain't tall at all, and this ain't much taller than me. Well, at least look at that shape. Look at the cascading branches coming down, making that umbrella around the trunk. Look at that. This, my friends, looks like another type of ficus. Or is it? I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't. It wants to look like a ficus, but it may not be a ficus. Look at that spread as I walk backward to try to give you a scope on this tree. One main trunk. Ooh. Sweat just went into my eye. Leading into multiple branches and further bifurcating until it develops this really very nice canopy. Really, really very nice canopy. Down into this one singular trunk where it starts to flare just a bit at the base, and you can see the nabari happening. There's a lot, my friends. This is another flamboyant. In the back of that flamboyant is a double trunk. See, that looks like a sea hibiscus. As you can see, it starts to get the variegated leaves on one side of it, whereas the evergreen or the full green on the other side. And I think as I veer off the path, my friends, so my run stop complete. And I'm walking closer to it just to show that it is flowering. I forgot I had my zoom on, so you can see the scope of it. And right next to that is a ficus. But on this sea hibiscus, you can see the flowers there. Pretty dense twin trunk situation with some great bark on that trunk. The grass is a bit wet. As I get closer to the trunk, you can see the good bark. This nice on this trunk. One of the flowers. And yet another ficus for the ficus lovers. As you can see, it's a massive spread. Really very big. Really very big. With some aerial roots coming down. And some aerial roots would have assisted in making this trunk, this nubberry. Look at it. Look at the spread. Really very nice. Going up into the canopy, all over my head, all past me. Really very nice.